So right now, Bose is kind of in a low where they aren't innovating too much, but some of their products are still really good. Like let's say their mid-size soundbar, but their speakers are very underwhelming when compared to the rest of the competition, like the Bose Soundlink Max, the Flex 2, or the Micro 2. But still, Bose's headphones are perhaps some of the best headphones to travel with because they're super comfortable. And now we have the Bose QC Ultra headphones too, and this is what the original Bose QC Ultra headphones should have been when they first came out. Regarding pricing, the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2 have a retail price of $450, which is a price increase from the originals, which used to retail for $430 when they first came out. But it looks like Bose is already putting these headphones on sale, and overall, I still think that these are a great option if comfort is your main priority. And honestly, these are headphones, and I do think that comfort should always be your main priority on headphones. Nonetheless, if you want to pick these headphones up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button, and if you want to further support the channel, then you can always watch some of the related videos in the description down below. Now first, there's the case, and well, this is the same case as before. This is a nice hard shell case that's going to keep your headphones well protected even if you throw them into a cramped backpack or carry-on. But more importantly, this hard shell case has a decently small footprint and it's relatively thin as well, so this hard shell case isn't going to take up too much space in your bag, making it a great option for flying. Overall, Bose has always done very well when it comes to their carrying cases, and there's honestly nothing to hate here. But now let's talk about the headphones themselves. Now, the most notable design difference between the original and the Ultra headphones 2 is that the Ultra 2s have polished arms, whereas the originals have a brushed metal look to them. But besides that, both of these headphones look the same. They both have a fully collapsible design, their ear cups pivot and swivel a good amount, their headband glides in and out, but personally I do prefer when my headband clicks because it's just easier to find your fit when you take your headphones out of their case. But more importantly, both of these headbands are well padded, so hot spots are not an issue, and the leatherette on these headphones feels very nice as well. However, I can't help but feel that the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2 have slightly better build quality than the originals. Now, I sincerely hope that this isn't a placebo effect because I have no problem calling out companies, but I can't help but feel that the leatherette on the Ultra 2s feel a little nicer, and it has a slightly better grain to it, and the padding feels a little softer as well. And I also noticed that the hinges pivot and swivel a little smoother as well. So if Bose did this on purpose, that's a very nice touch, or maybe I just got lucky and I got a really good pair from the factory. Now, when it comes to fit, just like the originals, the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2 have a neutral amount of clamping force to them. As in, they aren't too tight, but they aren't too loose. Now, these headphones are big head approved, and if you like to wear hats, they will have you covered. But if you are looking for something with a looser fit, then you do still want to go with the Bose QC headphones instead. But more importantly, these headphones still sit very naturally on your head because their ear cups pivot and swivel an ample amount, and they apply an even amount of pressure around your ears. And looks-wise, the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2 have an understated design to them, with a headband that isn't too bulbous, but the new polished chrome arms on these headphones does call more attention than the brushed aluminum on the originals. But more importantly, since the headband on these headphones is well padded, hotspots are not an issue, and when it comes to the ear pads on these headphones, they are very spacious just like the originals, so these ear pads are going to have no problem fitting large size ears or ears that stick out a lot. And since these ear pads don't have a lot of surface area coming in contact with your skin, they also do a really good job of staying cooler for longer. But then there's their weight. Now, the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2 weigh in at 262 grams, which is good for a pair of premium ANC headphones. And this is fairly lightweight because most premium ANC headphones weigh in between 280 and 300 grams. And there are some super heavy boys out there, like let's say the AirPod Max, which weigh in at a staggering 387 grams, which is just too much. But with the original Bose QC Ultra headphones, these weigh in at 252 grams, 10 grams less. And the Bose QCs, which are super lightweight for premium ANC headphones, weigh in at 235 grams. So overall, the Bose QC Ultra headphones too are lightweight, so you don't notice them shifting around too much when you're walking around with them on, and they're easy enough to forget when you're wearing them while you're sitting at your desk or lying in bed or while you're sitting on an airplane. But the original Ultras are a little less noticeable because they're a little lighter, but I don't think that is going to be a huge deal. But overall, just like before, the Bose QC Ultra headphones too are super comfortable to wear because they sit very naturally on your head because their ear cups have a lot of range of motion. Their ear pads are also super spacious just like before, so even if you have larger ears or ears that stick out a lot, they will have you covered. Their headband is well padded, so hot spots are not an issue for these headphones. They're fairly lightweight, so they aren't super noticeable when you're walking around with them on, and they have a neutral amount of clamping force, so they should fit most people just fine. However, the Ultra 2s are 10 grams heavier than the originals, which I don't feel is a huge deal, but if you do want something with a looser fit, larger and more spacious ear pads, and something that's lighter, then you do still want to go with the Bose QCs instead. But now let's talk about tech specs. Now, battery life has been an issue for Bose's headphones, but thankfully Bose has addressed this in their new headphones, because with the Bose QC Ultra 2s, these now have an advertised battery life of 30 hours with the active noise cancellation turned on, because with the originals, they have an advertised battery life of 24 hours with the active noise cancellation turned on. But another thing that is new here is that you can finally turn off the active noise cancellation on these headphones, so you can extend their battery life that way. Now, I know that this sounds super basic, but you can't turn off the active noise cancellation on either the Bose QCs or the Bose QC Ultra, which does drive me crazy. And even with the latest firmwares, you still can't turn off the ANC on these other two headphones. So believe it or not, one of the big upgrades on the Bose QC Ultra headphones too is that you can now completely turn off the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now, to charge these headphones, they charge via a USB-C port as they should, but you can now use this USB-C port as a wired connection if you want, and you can now use these headphones while they're charging as well. So Bose really expanded the capabilities of the USB-C port on these headphones, so you can use them for gaming if you want. And they still have an audio jack, so you can still use them with a wired connection that way, which I feel is super important if you plan on flying with these headphones. However, you can't use these headphones passively. Even if you want to use these headphones with a wired connection, they still have to be powered on, which I do feel kind of defeats the purpose of using these headphones with a wired connection. But when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, these headphones can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time regardless of ecosystem, making them a great option for any power user out there that likes to hot-swap between, let's say, your PC and iPhone. And latency is not an issue for these headphones, so you can use them to watch videos with on your phone. And when it comes to audio codecs, they have support for SBC, AAC, and Snapdragon Sound. But in order to use Snapdragon Sound, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. But wait, if you're actually going to charge all of this stuff, then check out our partners over at Anker. They've got a ton of battery banks and chargers. And personally, I've been using this new 7-in-1 charging station from Anker. Now, personally, I really like this charging base because it has two built-in USB-C cables which retract, and you can use them to either charge small devices like your earbuds, or you can even use them to charge your larger devices like your iPad or MacBook. There's an additional USB-C port, so you can plug in an additional cable, and there's also a USB-A port if you've got any older devices that are using a USB-A cable. Plus on the back you've got an additional three-prong AC ports, so you can plug in any of your other devices, and this base also has a built-in screen, so you can see how much power it's putting out. You can also see how much power each device is taking, and you can even get temp readouts just to be safe. Honestly, this charging base does save me a lot of clutter here in the studio because I have a lot of devices that just constantly need to be charged. So if you want to pick this charging base up, it'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And I'm also going to keep a coupon code in the pinned comment down below so that I can get you an extra discount. But now let's talk about sound, because there is a lot to say here. So for starters, the Bose QC Ultra 2s sound the same as the original Bose QC Ultra. These headphones are going to be better suited for someone that likes a more neutral sound signature or a more vocal sound signature, because these headphones just don't have a lot of kick in their bass. You can hear the bass, but you can't feel the bass. And even if you were to go into their EQ and raise their bass all the way up, you'll be able to hear it, but you're not going to get too much of a resonance or a kick from your bass, so they might not be as fun, and this goes for both of these headphones. However, the Bose QC Ultra 2s sound very different from the originals when you use these headphones with their active noise cancellation turned off. I feel that the Bose QC Ultra 2s sound better with their active noise cancellation turned off, because with their ANC turned off, they sound a lot more open. The bass is a little more present, and the mids and vocals aren't as overemphasized as like with the original Bose QC Ultras, which you can only use with their ANC turned on. And this is a big deal, because ANC changing the sound of your music, that's something that happens on older headphones, because with newer headphones, their sound doesn't change all that much, whether their ANC is turned on or off. So with the Bose QC Ultra headphones 2, for the best sound quality, you do want to use these headphones with their ANC turned off. And then there's the immersive audio on these headphones, and this is a feature that I never use for two reasons. For starters, immersive audio is going to take an additional toll on your battery life, because the Bose QC Ultra 2s will go from a battery life of 30 hours to 23 hours. But more importantly, I don't like immersive audio because it adds a lot of reverb to your music, making it sound very unnatural. And with cinematic mode, which is an all-new feature for the Bose QC Ultra headphones too, it's another version of immersive mode, which just adds a lot of reverb to your audio, but it also amplifies your vocals even more. So overall, I do not touch immersive mode or cinematic mode, because it makes your audio sound very unnatural because of all of the added reverb, and it also takes an additional toll on your battery life, which personally I just feel is definitely not worth it. But also keep in mind, the Bose QC Ultra 2s sound very different with their ANC turned on and off. I feel that for the best sound quality, you do want to use them with their ANC turned off, because your music is going to sound more open. The Bose QC Ultra 2s sound good enough to get the job done, but these are still better suited for someone that likes a more neutral or vocals focused EQ, because you're not going to get a lot of kick out of their bass. Now, when it comes to your MIDI controls, these headphones have a hybrid system. They have a physical button, so you can press to play and pause your music, and you can double tap to skip through your music. But to adjust your volume, they have a touchpad that you swipe up or down on. But honestly, I don't like this touchpad because it just makes it very hard to get the volume that you actually want. I just really wish that they had a physical volume rocker like with the Bose QC headphones. So anytime that I need to adjust the volume on these headphones, I just use my phone, because I really don't want to deal with their weird touchpad. And just like before, the Bose QC Ultra 2s have wear sensors, so whenever you take these headphones off, they'll automatically pause your music, and when you put them back on, they'll start playing your music again. Now, personally, I don't really care for wear sensors on my headphones, so I just turned them off, but wear sensors on a pair of premium ANC headphones like these are to be expected. And like I said, the original Bose QC Ultras also had wear sensors, but more importantly, the Bose QC headphones do not have wear sensors. But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now, just like before, the ANC on the Bose QC Ultra 2s blocks out a lot of noise with very minimal cabin pressure, which is really good, especially for flying. But the awkward thing here is the original Bose QC Ultras are blocking out a little more noise than the Bose QC Ultra 2s. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to go ahead and jump into the ANC test. So, like we have just seen, I feel that the original Bose QC Ultras are doing a slightly better job of blocking out low frequency sounds like road noise, and the originals are doing a noticeably better job of blocking out higher frequency sounds like chatter. Now, overall, the Bose QC Ultra 2s are still a great option to fly with because they block out a lot of noise, but the originals are still blocking out a little more noise. Now, this isn't something that you're going to notice unless you're using these headphones back to back and you're actually testing them. So hopefully the Bose QC Ultra 2s will get a firmware update that improves their ANC, or hopefully the ANC on the original Bose QC Ultra doesn't get downgraded, because there is precedent for that from the past. But then there's the ambient mode of these headphones, and it's a lot easier now to adjust how much noise these headphones let in than before, because with the original Ultras you would have to go in digging through the menus. But overall, the ambient mode sounds fairly natural. It's not as natural as the ambient mode found on the AirPod Max, but it gets the job done. And more importantly, this microphone array does a great job of rejecting wind noise when walking outdoors. Now, the Bose QC Ultra 2s also have Active Sense just like before, but this is another feature that I don't use because Active Sense is a little too sensitive. It's going to block out things like cars, which is exactly the type of sounds that you're listening for when you're using the ambient mode on these headphones while outdoors, while you're maybe walking to work. And also, people's voices get a little more difficult to hear because people's voices sound a little muffled with Active Sense turned on. So I just turn Active Sense off. But the thing that really disappoints me about these headphones is that they still don't have a conversation mode like with the Bose NC700s, which works like this.
Follow the light if you're not sure, listen to your gut.
So, like you may have just seen, conversation mode quickly pauses your media and lets in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without having to remove your headphones. And this feature is super useful for when you're flying or just traveling with your headphones, and it's super common on premium ANC headphones. And conversation mode on the Bose NC700s was one of the best. And for some reason, Bose abandoned this feature, even though you can quickly add it to the Bose QC Ultra 2s if you were to just press and hold on their volume rocker touchpad thing, because it does have a shortcut function as well. But finally, here's the microphone test, and thankfully Bose did manage to improve the mic on the Bose QC Ultra headphones too. Now, while in a quiet room, both of these headphones sound good. However, I do feel that the Bose QC Ultra 2s do a slightly better job of focusing on your voice, but it is a very slight difference. But more importantly, the Bose QC Ultra 2s do a better job of dealing with noise pollution, because when it comes to blocking out road noise, these are doing a better job of reducing this noise pollution. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Bose QC Ultra 2s, it is reduced. Because with the original Bose QC Ultra headphones, you can still understand me, but there's a lot of road noise in the background by comparison. And when it comes to blocking out chatter, you can still hear a lot of noise pollution in the background, but also my voice does sound a little hollow as well. Whereas with the Bose QC Ultra 2s, these are doing a much better job of reducing that noise pollution. However, my voice might not be as front and center, but regardless, this mic is doing a better job of dealing with noise pollution, because again, for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the Bose QC Ultra 2s, it is reduced. So overall, the microphone on the Bose QC Ultra 2s is better and is doing a better job of dealing with noise pollution. But there are still plenty of other earbuds and headphones out there that have better sounding microphones on them, like for example, the AirPods 4 or AirPod Max. Both of that being said, the Bose QC Ultra headphones too are still a good pair of headphones to travel with because they're still very comfortable and you can easily wear them for multiple hours on end. Bose does comfort very well on their headphones, and it can be a main selling point for a lot of people. I know it is for me. And tech specs wise, they get the job done. However, there are plenty of other headphones out there that block out more noise, or they have a longer lasting battery life, or they have better sound quality, or they have a better sounding microphone for phone calls. I appreciate the upgrades found on the Bose QC Ultra 2s, but there is no need to upgrade if you have the originals. However, you can't go wrong with the Bose QC Ultra 2s because they're very comfortable. Because no matter how amazing your headphones perform, if they don't fit right, you're not going to want to wear them. But Bose's headphones always fit right. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.